Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Happy holidays. This is the start of a new week. Hope it is prosperous for the viewing audience. For those who have not heard, 20-month-old Quinton Simon, his partial remains were confirmed by the FBI Laboratory Division. I will bring you the said information. Thank you so much. 1 week after the arrest of 20-month-old Quinton Simon's mother, FBI officials in Atlanta confirmed through DNA analysis that partial remains found in a Savannah landfill are those of the toddler. Authorities announced last week that they found bones in the Superior landfill and sent them to the FBI laboratory for DNA analysis. Quinton Simon was last seen at his Savannah home on October 5th. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance led to international coverage. The chief of Chatham County Police Department announced the arrest of Leilani Simon, the mother of Quinton Simon, last Monday. At the time, Chief Jeffrey Halley, said they were awaiting DNA analysis after reportedly finding what they believed were human remains at the landfill. A team of experts spent 5 weeks searching the landfill for any potential signs of Quinton Simon. On Monday, November 28th, officials reported that they have ceased operations at the landfill and began removing command post facilities for L. Scott Stale Park. Repeat, on Monday, November 28th, which is today, officials reported that they have ceased operations at the landfill and began removing command post facilities for L. Scott Stale Park. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for Leilani Simon in January. If you need verification for the timeline of these events pertaining to the disappearance and declaration that the child was dead and the mother is the prime suspect, WJCL 22 News has that said information. This is a developing story, and WJCL 22 News will update this article as details become available. WJCL is the source. Most of us who had faith and believed that he was there, it was confirmed that remains were found, partial remains were found, and now today it has been confirmed that the partial remains found belong to Quinton Simon. I do not know what those remains are exactly. I believe bones were mentioned a week or so ago, but nonetheless, the confirmation has come in. It is a sad day. It's a good day. The child is no longer with us, but it's a good day knowing that those are his partial remains. 2, his bio donor is currently in a Chatham County jail. Tongue-tied today. God is good. He did not want his child to be out there because that was not the appropriate place for his child to be. And now the flesh is no longer. He's gone on now. Amen. How does Leilani feel now? Confirmation. She had to have known this day was coming, that he would be found. But I'm sure in the mind of a narcissist, a sociopath, she was hoping that nothing would be found. Nothing would be verified. Oh, my. It was. Amen. Billy Joel, how do you feel now? What more stories can you spin? Because this road is at the end for all participants. You've had a great fun 6 weeks or so lollygagging around and hee-hawing around on YouTube at the expense of a baby boy, which showed us you never cared for him or the other children. You use this nasty event to your own benefit, but in the end, it may be the detriment of selves, in the roles that you played, and not being responsible for the boy child and the other children. God had the upper hand, as he always does. And he gives us free will to do as we see fit. And you all chose to do whatever you wanted to do, not to do right by the boy child. and his siblings. That is why 2 are in foster care and 1 is dead. Your choice. Your choices. There should be an arrest of Billie Joe Howe and her husband because they had custodial rights of the said child. They should not get a free pass. Anyone that had knowledge of abuse, neglect in that house, your ass need to be whipped as well. Somber day, but once again, a good day. If you need verification for the said information, WJCL is the source. I also follow Twitter to get said information, and I just got this notification before going live that the remains belong to the said child. This is coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. FBI Laboratory Division has confirmed through DNA analysis the bones found in Superior landfill are those of missing 20-month-old Quinton Simon. Chatham County authorities have charged Simon's mother, Leilani Simon, with the murder and other related offenses. On Monday, November 28th, which is today, authorities officially ceased operations at the landfill and began removing command post facilities from L. Scottsdale Park. The FBI is thankful for the partnership with Chief Hadley and the entire Chatham County Police Department. A monumental team effort was put forth by everyone involved in bringing closure to this horrific situation. The 5-week search to find Quinton would not have been successful without the dedicated service of several groups. The FBI and Chatham County Police Department would like to offer their sincere thanks to the following. And that's just a short read from the FBI Atlanta field office via Twitter if you are concerned about a source. Amen. Uploaded at 2:32 p.m. and it is now 4:10, same Eastern Standard Time. Amen. What a journey. What a journey. I find it interesting that last week we had heard that operations would cease. Okay, or the week before operations would cease. The next thing you know, there was rumors that some type of remains were found on that following Friday. Then we went into the holiday week. And she was arrested last week, conveniently. Now, new week, after the holiday, operations have ceased. So I was wondering why they ceased, because I thought they were going to still resume after the Thanksgiving holiday. So maybe they decided to stop for some reason. I don't know. But I do find that interesting because it was told to us last week that they would halt for the holiday, resumed after the holiday, because it is still an ongoing investigation. So I assume they were still possibly looking for something else pertaining to the child. What exactly, I do not know. But now you hear that operations have ceased pertaining to the search of this child. That is what has been said. Authorities officially ceased operations at the landfill and began removing command post facilities. So that means what it says, they won't be looking any further. Very interesting. Let's finish this last part of this tweet. The management and workers at Waste Management Superior Landfill, the situation was thrust upon them, and the waste management team was extremely cooperative and offered their equipment, time, and expertise throughout the search. The forensic anthropologists from Georgia Southern University, who were on site every day, verifying any potential human finds. the experts from the Team Adam and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children who provided invaluable technical insights. The agents, officers, and deputies from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, and the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, who all devoted their time to participate in the landfill search. Quinton Simon's case and the legal proceedings against his mother are now in the hands of the Chatham County District Attorney's Office. Any further questions should be directed to the District Attorney, Shalina Cook Jones. Now, I'm curious, is Shalina African American or Caucasian? I am kind of curious. Nonetheless, Ms. Shalina, we hope that you will follow through with any indictments on any other persons involved in this death of this child. And that reference is the grandmother, Billie Joe Howell, and her husband, Mr. Howell. Because if it is true their names were signed on legal documents 1 week before the child was killed, they need to be responsible and go down in flames for signing their name on that paperwork and leaving the child in the hands of someone who was not fit. And Billie Joe Howell knew of this, and she allowed it. And whatever type of fraudulent deviance she was exacting in getting that girl to turn over her rights, she needs to pay for that. Because it doesn't make sense that Leilani would sign over her rights and then the next week kill her kid. It's too coincidental and too suspicious for them not to be related. That is a very interesting question. Who will get the remains of Quinton Simon? Partial remains. Lord have mercy, tell me no. That the grandmother will not get them, I pray. Because she would just make a spectacle out of this. And I'm sure she's itching right now to go on someone's live stream to fall out and flap around like a damn wet seal pertaining to this confirmation of the child's remains. I'm sure the wire will be very hot tonight. It just goes to show you that people are very ill and they are not here to do good deeds and to do right by people. But that's to be expected because he didn't get in a dumpster on his own, Quinton Simon. His brother and sisters are not in the foster care by happenstance. They're there for a reason. He's dead for a reason. And it's time that people acknowledge that the children were collateral damage. They had no business being born to Leilani Simon, but you can't take it back. Here comes the grandmother stepping in, and she doesn't do right. I feel like deja vu right now as I'm speaking, like I've been here before speaking these words. This is very scary to me. She didn't do right. She or the husband. And those who knew that this woman was unfit, you stood idly by watching. And naturally, it wasn't your responsibility to rear the children, but you had knowledge that the mother and the other baby daddy were not doing right by these kids. And we have learned that every case is not the same if you report it to DHS. It's a matter of if they deem the accusations worth following through. But more of a travesty would be Billie Joe Howell and husband getting the remains and turning it into a 3-ring circus. And probably lie to people about all the things she need when we already know the child doesn't need anything. He doesn't need anything. Partial remains, you might as well have them broken down and put into an urn and keep it moving. Because these people are not fit to be conducting any type of memorial service for the decedent. I do hope that this county will also seek damages for the search of the child, because the participants had knowledge that the child was dead and did not alert officials that he was deceased. So the mother filed a false report. That is one of her charges. She needs to face the consequences. We naturally know she can't pay anything. She doesn't work. She's now in jail. She has no way to give up any type of funds and or estate. But it's principle. Her grandmother and husband may have collateral, such as the house and cars and boats and campers. The county needs to sue them for the $250,000 owed for the search, because Hadley requested this money from the commission's board. They rightfully and honorably gave them the money. I do not know if there was any stipulations on the money, but nonetheless, it came out of the school system and it needs to be repaid back. So they need to file up paperwork and demand that Billie Joe Howe and her entities pay the money back, because it is rightfully owed. It is rightfully owed to the Chatham County, because this man went and asked for the money, and these people need to pay it back. Because what will be even more baffling than Leilani signing over her rights 1 week before the death of the child, killing the child the next week and throwing him in the dumpster, is if we find out that Billie Joe Howe had knowledge that the child was dead before even touching down to the state of Georgia. And the fact that she worked out of town shows cause that she committed fraud in petitioning rights to the child and custodial rights of the child when she knew she was not physically living in Savannah, Georgia. It would be even more of a travesty if we find out she knew the baby was dead before touching down. Leilani confessed to her when she touched down. Either way, she did not report it. So I'm curious, Billie Joe Howe, when did you find out that the child was deceased? Did you find out before you came home or when you came home? And I got a feeling you found out before the 12th, when Chief Hadley claimed that the child was dead and Leilani was the prime suspect. Did you know that the boy was dead? And even if you didn't know when you came home or beforehand, you are still guilty and liable for leaving the children unattended with a drug addict mother and an unfit mother. And I do not know what you were up to in going to the court to get these paperworks signed over to you, but I know it was ill will, because I can't see that you were going to quit your job and stay home and raise 3 small children. You may look old for 46. Your body may be half virile, but I can't see you keeping kids. And the way you stormed into Dinah McCarter's house shows you're off your rocker and out of control, and you're just as vile as your daughter. And you don't need to be raising small children. And the fact that you had an altercation weeks before the child went missing, dead, shows that you are violent as well. Pushing your daughter into the wall, if I'm to believe the accusations from your daughter, something is wrong with you to be fighting over a washing machine. So you did not need any children, and nor did she. And the boyfriend is just as guilty, because he rode the ride with Leilani Simon in this house, and both misfits together. because you can't have one without the other. They were a duo team before he vacated the premises. You can argue all you want about what he knew, didn't know, didn't do. The point is, he rode the ride up until the child's death. And the girl had to have been complaining to Danny Youngkin about how Billy Joel was treating her, wanting both of them to pay child support and evicting them. You want me to believe she didn't say anything to Mr. Youngkin about her desires to get rid of Quinton Simon? I believe she told him something. And the fact that he left shows guilt of something. Because why leave your child and your girlfriend behind? You were there for the long haul. Then why, poof, voila, disappear when she's needing you? It's very suspicious. These people are disgusting. And they've been walking around living this way for a very long time. Leilani has had no direction for 10 or 12 years. The mother has been in and out of the system, hustling and bamboozling people to survive. She has not taught her children any type of ethical traits. They have no redeeming qualities. And when we look at how she has behaved up here on YouTube, videos of her running into someone's house, the babysitter, it shows she has not changed. So all that fluff that she was spewing up on someone's network is just a bunch of bull. She's never cared for the children, her own children, her grandchildren, nor herself. And people show you what they are made of to show you they cannot care for you. They cannot be decent to you or honest with you because they're not decent and honest with themselves, because self is first. Self-preservation is first. It's the bottom line. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love anyone else. They can't steer a horse to water when they are blind themselves. And that's what you have with all these entities, the blind leading the blind. That is why one is dead and two are in foster care. And we have to pray for the journey of the other brother and baby sister, that they will be well taken care of, that they will not be caught up in the system of foster care shuffle, house to house, to where they end up growing up insecure and become menaces, and the generational curse continues. Because a lot of people end up going down the same path that their parents went down. Maybe not intentionally wanting to be like their parents, but they end up like their parents. So we have to pray that these itty bitty spiders do not end up breaking the law, getting into trouble, getting bad parents, staying in horrible foster homes, to then repeat the cycle again. How is he smart, Mama Bear? We do not know Danny Youngkin, and we do not know his mindset. The fact that he dated Leilani and stayed with her, excuse me, I don't see, excuse me, sorry about that. I can't see how he would be considered smart. Because he rode the ride with these misfits up until the very end. And we do not know why he actually left. We do not know if he left because he suspected her of killing the kid. We don't know if he left because he conspired with her, helped her. And frankly, who's going to believe you? Because we don't know. We weren't there. Thank you, sweetie. We don't know. We weren't there. We don't know these people. But what we've seen of them is not good. And you have to use deduction. He was there up until the missing report was filed. So how do we know he didn't help her conspire in any way to get rid of this child, kill this child? Just because he has not been arrested does not mean he is innocent. Somebody can tell you what they're going to do. You don't have to help. You don't have to aid, but you have knowledge. So naturally, the state would have to prove he had knowledge, that he didn't conspire with her to kill her kid. He did not aid her in any way or cover it up. And the fact that you have not heard from him, knowing he has a child, how is that a decent person or a smart person? Please make me understand. No, you're fine, but I make you all think, because when you come in here with your theories, I want you to think about what you're saying. I don't trust anybody that stayed in the house, because after the fact, they all sat out aiding a baby killer on a front lawn as if she didn't kill that kid, as if they didn't even think she killed the kid. That's bad. It's a bad look. No way they can sit up and say, well, we don't know what happened to him. I don't think she did anything. Well, the baby didn't climb in the dumpster. And he sure as hell didn't climb in that landfill. Exactly. He was there with the abuse and said nothing. Exactly. He was right there for the ride with Leilani, getting high, drunk, neglecting her kids, allowing her kids to run around and play in ditches and run in the street. He was right there. So he does not get a pass, whether he helped her kill the kid or not. Had knowledge, it doesn't matter. He was there all along up until the child's death. So how am I going to sit here and think you didn't have anything to do with it? And then you left. You didn't stay for the whole ride. You left her and all her children. Now, have they been talking on the phone, messaging? I don't know. Secretly seeing each other? I don't know. But I'm going by how it looks, and he hasn't been visible, and that's enough for me. And if you know you didn't have anything to do with the child's death, why would you, 1, run? 2, leave your child behind? No way he could have expected his parents to get custody, because no judge is going to give children to anybody when a whole baby is missing and the police believe the mother is the suspect. Hell no, we're not going to give no children to anybody close to these people. Why would we do that? So another child could come up miraculously missing as well. There is fraud in this case of Quinton Simon. It is obvious. Between Billy Joel and Leilani Simon. What these two had hatched up, cooked up, I don't know, but it's fraudulent. Because you can't deny a child being dead a week after the mother signs over her rights to the grandmother. It stinks. And 9 times out of 10, there's a rat lying around somewhere. Will Billy Joel be arrested for gross negligence of the children? Fraud, filing paperwork knowing she had no intention of raising the children. Currently was living out of town when filing the papers. It's all fraud. She willingly went into a court, filed papers fraudulently, knowing she had no intention of raising these children. And she has fraudulently summons money from gullible people, pocketbooks, and some of you have stupidly sent her money and gifts, and you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And that shows that you have the same character as Billy Joe Howe, Mr. Howe, and the other participants, and Danny Youngkin. All of you are the same to me. You can't say that you're different. Because no decent person would send people money knowing a whole baby is missing and deemed dead. Sending them presents. It's not Christmas. The fuck can you send somebody a gift and a whole baby's dead? What would even possess you to send someone jewelry and their grandchild is dead? Please make me understand how this makes sense. Oh, I was thinking about you. Would you like a tennis bracelet, a diamond ring? Who does that? Only somebody cut from the same cloth and has the same mindset. The constant meddling and wanting to be around wackos is baffling to me, which shows who you are. You're just the same. You like drama. You're attracted to drama. You get a joke out of the drama, and you want to be in the midst of the drama. So you email and mail and ask for addresses to send mail and packages to people who aided a baby killer. People who turned a blind eye, meaning you are the same. How are you different? You are not. You ride the ride. You are the same. And that is what's wrong with most of us. We continuously deal with people we know do not mean us any good. We know that they are foul and rank, and we still hang up under them, talk to them, ride or die with them, for them. For what reason? You have got to own your part in dealing with people. We all have to own our parts in dealing with people who are not good for us. They're self-serving, they're narcissistic, they're greedy, they're hungry, they're bottom feeders. And it doesn't matter, on one day they appear nice and then the next day they're cutting your throat. You have to say, well, my throat is cut today, so them being nice yesterday means nothing. I'm bleeding today. We all can learn from these type of circumstances, because many of us don't ever think we are ever going to be involved in a murder, attempted murder. But when you continuously deal with people who cannot sit their asses down and be still, you don't know where it's going to end up. You have no idea. 6 degrees of separation. Remember that. You continuously deal with people that stay in shit, eventually you will be wrapped up yourself. And you'll have people standing at your door, banging, asking you questions about a murder, attempted murder, missing kid, missing person, because you're keeping the wrong company. People do not realize how crime can circle around, circle back, and be right at your doorstep because of the company you keep. So don't ever say never. Because so long as you hang with people who stay in trouble, you will get yourself wrapped up some type of way. That's why I don't want to be around people that constantly are going to jail, always in trouble, getting arrested. It doesn't matter if the charges are minor. One thing begets another. Today it's minor, tomorrow it may not be. And this message is for some of you out there listening, and some of you that I know of. You need to tighten your shit, because some of us are getting tired of your shit. They're enabling you and trying to support you when you show you don't even give a fuck about yourself. And you're walking around empty and expecting the rest of us to act the same. No, we will not. It's getting old. Enabling people that are grown that refuse to grow up. And they're always walking around acting as if somebody's done something to them. It's not us and the others. You are your problem. And you need to grow up. Because you're going to end up taking innocent people down with you because you refuse to grow up. And I find it very baffling when I see people who are at least 40 years of age, older, continuously hanging with people that break the law. I have a problem with that because at some point you need to stop. You need to change your ways, and us who are enabling need to say, these people we don't need to be around. There is another Leilani Simon slumbering around. Another Billy Joel, Mr. Howell lying around. Another Paul, another Danny Youngkin, another Bubba Moss. There's more versions of them, doppelgangers slumming around. This you should know. And it's only a matter of time you hear another story. Something terrible about a kid. Before I went live, 11 Alive out of Atlanta, Georgia, has a story running as I speak of an African-American woman who's been charged in the death of her girl child. I didn't open it up to get all the information because it's redundant. She set her apartment on fire and killed her kid. So I have to ask myself the obvious. Was the child alive before she set the apartment on fire, or the child was already dead and then she set the apartment on fire? In the end, it's not going to matter, but it shows you the intent that she went to cover up the death of a kid. And baby probably was already dead. That's why she set the apartment on fire. That's usually what they do. They set the fire to try to cover up the death of the person. You see, one left the earth a while ago. Here comes another one. Mother killing her. Because they don't care. They've never cared, and they never will. And these will be the same people that will judge other people for not properly raising their children, giving their children up to foster care, adoption, a parent. Well, you can't judge somebody when you're not doing a good job your damn self. Because a lot of people think they are in the clear because they keep their children. Well, you're not. I kept mine. I did right by mine, or I tried. But did you try hard enough? Because it's easy to sit up on a horse because you keep your kids. But if we were to do a little whispering, some of the things we might tell wouldn't be so dignified about your child rearing skills. Because a lot of you have fallen short in that department, but you will never own your part that you are a foul-ass mom and daddy. Because you kept your kids, which means absolutely nothing. Because I don't know how many people I've bumped into on this journey at 51 who do not have great stories about childhood. Alcoholic mother, father, drug addict mother and father, abusive parents, favoritism of other children, no love, no pat on the back, no hugs, no I love yous, no nothing. Coming and going when they saw fit, bringing all type of different men and women in their house, bringing in different people that abuse the children sexually, mentally, verbally, physically. But yet you kept your kid. Best you sweep around your own front porch, because some of you need some sweeping. Or as we say, some house straightening. Because a lot of us out here just don't have no business procreating, dating, marrying, working certain jobs. They all go hand in hand. Some of us just need to be out in the wilderness alone because we're just not fit to coincide with other living creatures. And sadly, people let their guard down and they get in the fold with you and get themselves trapped out of so-called feelings, love, and obligation. You got to know when to say, I can no longer carry this journey with you because I'm not benefiting by being in your peripheral. You have to know the signs when you are dealing with sociopaths and narcissists and psychopaths. When it is always I, me, cut them loose. Don't procreate with them. Don't do anything for them. Don't go out your way for them because they show you they're not worthy. And you do not want to bring up children in unstable environments. So if you see the signs that you're with somebody that's unstable, you should know not to get pregnant by him, and you should not supply the sperm for a baby. Wear a condom or leave alone altogether. Checking out is probably your best bet. A lot of uptick of crime has happened here in Knoxville, Tennessee as of late, the past couple of days. We've had a few deaths here, and they are baffling, to say the least. A man and a woman were found in a house. I do not have all the details, but my discerning spirit has been weighing on me since this morning pertaining to these unidentified people. I can't go into the details of why it's bothering me, but let's just say perhaps I'm not going to say. It's just weighing on me. And I'm trying to get confirmation of these two deceited people. Let's just say 6 degrees of separation. Please be careful of the company that you keep and your surroundings, because you do not want to end up a Quinton Simon. You do not want to end up the Idaho 4, because a lot of times bad judgment leads you to be a victim because you don't know when to leave people alone. You don't know when to stay off social media because you see you don't know people. Those children probably had no idea that someone was going to murder them. A 20-month-old had no idea his mother was going to kill him. A wife didn't know her husband was going to kill her. How would you know? Signs, perhaps, but you're not thinking they would kill you. I've just realized once again, in talking about these children and other adults dying, Shanquella Robinson especially, that you need to tread very lightly in the company that you keep, because you don't know people. And people out here are wicked. Because when people become self-serving, and that is their only plight in life, they are going to be a problem. And you are going to get the short end of the stick in dealing with them. And sadly, a 20-month-old is no longer. 25-year-old black woman is no longer. 4 University of Idaho students are no longer. and the abundance of dead people are no longer. You can leave here a multitude of ways. Robbery, accident, natural death, intentional homicide, any type of way. Sadly, most people leave here by intentional homicide. There's too much crime. Too many people do not know how to deal with their emotions, and their only thought process is to eliminate the human being. And that is not the way to handle your emotions pertaining to another human being. If you have decided you no longer want to rear your children, then you need to hand them over to somebody that can take care of them and keep it moving. If you've decided that the relationship is not working out to your benefit, you need to keep it moving. Somebody does not want to be with you anymore. They do not desire you anymore. You need to keep it moving. But killing them is not the answer. Killing him or her is not the answer. Physical abuse of the person is not the answer. Orchestrating a hit on him or her is not the answer. We as people have got to learn how to deal with our emotions, because I'm seeing more and more people who are deviantly unstable and they do not know how to deal with their emotions, their thoughts. So murder comes into play. Why? Why do you want to kill someone? They're not listening to you. They don't like you. They don't want you in their group. They don't want you in their set. So what? Make your own moves. Be your own light at the end of the tunnel. I realize we have a lot of insecure people walking around, a lot of mentally ill people, a lot of just deviant people, and we're going to continue to have dead people, dead children, until people realize they need help in dealing with their emotions and their thought process. So there will be another Quinton Simon, unfortunately, another Shanquella Robinson, and another Idaho 4. Because somebody will be that deviant to deem these persons unworthy of living. And we'll be right back here again talking about them. If you'd like to donate to this great network of everyday shenanigans, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during my live. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Mind the children. Happy holidays to all of you. Please be careful when shopping. Do not leave any parcels, boxes on the seat, in the floorboards. Put everything in your trunk. Go in groups at night if you decide to shop late. Do not post things to social media. Do not leave boxes outside the garbage can or the dumpster. Make sure you keep all your doors and windows locked in your car and your home. Do not go anywhere strange to try to purchase any type of item because you don't know the people who are selling the item. This is the season for robbery, so stay alert. If you are not home to get your parcels, tell somebody else to pick them up, a neighbor, a friend, or do not have them delivered at all. We have desperate people, and they will do desperate things, and it may even cost you your life. So please be aware of your surroundings. Anybody going up and down the street, sitting long-winded periods of time, call the police. You do not have to be a Captain Save-A-Hole. Just make one phone call and let the law enforcement deal with it. If you're going to be away from your home for a winded stay, Do not post it to social media. Post your business when you get back. Because if you do not have an elaborate security system or people to look out for your house, you can be a victim of robbery, home invasion. It's hard for me to say prayers for Quinton Simon's family because who would I be saying that to? So I'm just going to talk to the Lord about it and say, God, please bring justice to Quinton Simon, for Quinton Simon. Because there's nobody I can send prayers to because one's in jail who murdered him. The other one is Val, left him alone. So I can't send any type of condolences or prayers to the immediate family. So I'm going to talk to God and pray to God that he brings justice for this baby and let all involved go down because they rightfully deserve to. And I do not want to keep talking about anything else negative pertaining to its bio donors and stupid relatives. They are neither here nor there for me. This storybook is come to an end. He's been confirmed deceased. So anything else pertaining to his relatives is garbage. And I don't want to indulge in talking about that low-life trash anymore. The story is over. Next storyline, the state needs to ask for the money back. Chatham County, at least. From Billie Joe Howe, the mother. Leilani goes to court 2023. The story is over. Thank you all so much for your time. No, I don't have to catch up on anything because I'm not interested. Those people aren't talking about anything. The mother is arrested and the child has been confirmed dead. That's it for me. I'm not going to keep talking about Billie Joe Howe or something out of Canada. The story is over. Join me for live number 3 later tonight pertaining to the Idaho 4. I'm going to chop up Nancy Grace's live stream and the theories that are mentioned in that live stream pertaining to those kids. Random, targeted, personal beef. 1 target, 3 targets, 2 targets, 4 targets. Which is it? Are the parents holding back information pertaining to who was a target in that house? Did the perpetrator lie in wait in the house or outside? How did he or she get in? 1 perpetrator, 2 perpetrators. That's the next live stream for this evening. Please check your notifications for said information. My earlier live was pertaining to Shanquella Robinson. There's information that another person intervened on her behalf, but nonetheless, Shanquella still came up dead. And if I'm to believe the autopsy report, she was dead when the medical help got there. Imagine that. Please check out that earlier live pertaining to Miss Robinson. If you're coming in on this live late, go back and replay the video. Like, share, subscribe. Please check out my extensive library of 1,700 videos pertaining to various topics and true crime. Thank you so much for your time. God bless all of you. I'll be back later. Join me. I will drop the link on that live to get your opinion pertaining to the theories mentioned in that live stream. Have a wonderful evening. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you for joining me.